video will be further explaining the topic of Arab American neighborhoods in Detroit. This has been happening from the 1930s to the present. Many Lebanese, Yemeni, and Iraqi immigrants had a major influence on the auto industry and culture of Detroit. Many Arab Americans immigrated from rural areas to urban centers. During the 1940s, many Arab Americans, especially from southern Lebanon, moved to Detroit seeking jobs in the growing auto industry. This migration further bolstered the Arab American community. Arab American families primarily settled in Dearborn, which is a Detroit suburb, and parts of Detroit itself, leading to a rapid rise in population and community influence. As of 2023, Dearborn, Michigan has become the largest city with an Arab majority in the U.S., with 55% of its population claiming Middle Eastern or Northern African roots in the latest census. While the 1940s marked a period of economic opportunity for many Arab Americans in Detroit, there were also many challenges that had to be faced. As the community grew, Arab immigrants and their descendants faced various forms of discrimination and prejudice. After World War II ended in 1945, the demand for industrial labor in Detroit remained strong. The ongoing expansion of the automobile industry continued to attract more and more immigrants, including many from the Middle East, who saw Detroit as a land of opportunity. Arab Americans have a strong connection to the automotive industry in this country, and no place is that more true than in Metro Detroit and the Ford Motor Company. Since the early 1900s, Ford has employed Arab Christians from Syria, Muslims from Palestine, and Yemeni immigrants. In fact, the majority of workers on Model T assembly lines came from these groups. Like many other immigrant groups, Arab Americans came to this country looking for a better life for themselves and their families. Early Arab immigrants worked as peddlers, grocery store owners, and manual laborers. Later immigrants often arrived more professional training, such as doctors and even engineers. Arab American communities in Detroit began with a small group of Syrian and Lebanese merchants who'd immigrated in the late 1800s. Many left their lives as peasants in the rural Middle East for rapidly industrializing west, sometimes passing through Ellis Island on their way to Detroit. In the 1970s and 1980s, the auto industry fell on even harder times, as it struggled to overcome economic woes that grew combination of oil shortages, rising fuel prices, and intense international competition, particularly with auto manufacturers in Japan and Germany. Arab immigrants continued traveling to Detroit even after the automobile industry decline of 1970s. The 1975 to 1990 Lebanese Civil War resulted in a wave of immigration to Detroit. Many Iraqis immigrated to the Metro Detroit after the Gulf War of 1991 and the Iraq War of 2003. The Arab community in Detroit was a vibrant and glowing part of the city's diversity. Immigrants from different Arab communities interacted with African American, European, and even other immigrant communities, contributing to the multicultural landscape of Detroit. However, they also faced distinct challenges in terms of interrogation and maintaining cultural identity. Thank you for watching this educational video on Arab American immigrants and the auto industry. I hope you enjoyed.